One of the main gratifications of modern-day films the audiences actively seek is escapism. This can be escapism into the narrative, into the setting, into the characters. But thus, one of the major aims of most films is to suspend disbelief. And because of this, one of the most popular techniques of editing to use is the invisible cut. To create an invisible cut, there are many factors. However, most of these play into rhythmic relations. As a key underlying invisible cutting is to play to the generally natural rhythms of the film or scene. In Inception, this is done most excellently. The whole thing plays on natural rhythms. All their techniques used are techniques to disguise the cuts further, but have rhythmic relations. For example, the use of the smooth padding, constant movement of the shot, manufactures and further emphasizes the pace of the film, and thus enhances the natural feeling of the cuts. As well as this means that there can be cuts on movement, which can disguise a cut, and also allow for shots to be matched and other angles of the scene to be used. Rhythmic relations is all about manipulating the rhythms, pace, etc. of the film through the editing, and more specifically, through the lengthening and shortening of shots in relation to one another. These, as shown in the Inception clip, can convey different meanings, even when the same or similar shots are used in a sequence. Take, for example, this scene of a girl in a coffee shop. In the first sequence, you can see that the length of time between each cut is rather long, and thus it simply gives the impression of waiting for someone or something. This is especially obvious in comparison to the second sequence, where each shot length, the length before each cut, is shorter. The faster pace created through this means that there's a more impatient undertone to the narrative. However, as mentioned earlier, rhythmic relations in editing is vast. Commonly, the rhythms of the cinematic editing match with that of sound. Thus, there are two things to take in consideration, and can be done with various effects in mind. For example, it can be used to disguise a cut, a technique used in the creation of many music videos. Or it can be used to create a smooth transition, for example, when using a sound bridge. Or, such as in Gangnam Style, it can be used to bring attention to the cut. Often, when shots are so obviously rhythmically edited to a song, it can be used to engage audiences, such as in this PSA, where the rhythmic editing of the words to the music not only draws the attention of the audience to the words, but makes the entire thing a little bit more interesting than simply words on a screen. So yes, overall, you can tell from all these examples, rhythmic relations in editing underlies a huge amount of editing. It's one of the major factors to take into consideration when putting together any film text.